This linden-headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is grinding to a halt. Tired of walking the desert, it doesn't want to feel or think anymore.
Poor woman. We need to figure out what to do with her now.
Nobody's ever around. Nobody ever comes to visit me.
Sie haben versucht, mich zu töten.
I don't think she actually... You're right, of course. This could have been very bad.
Was wohl gerade in ihr vorgeht.
She's in a stupor. I've seen this before. God knows for how long. Could be days when they get like this.
Wie ist es überhaupt so weit mit ihr gekommen?
Honestly, I don't know. Dementia, probably. Dementia and Channel 8. And loneliness.
Ja, das passiert, wenn man sich im Rundfunk zu viele Polizeisendungen anhört.
There's a bit more to this than that. But right now, we need to decide what to do with her.
Sollen wir sie verhaften?
I don't think there's any need for that. In her current state, and without a gun, she isn't really a threat to anyone. We could let Titus know. This is a perfect problem for the local peacekeepers to handle. They might even know her family.
Warten Sie, ich würde ihr so gerne eine dieser Vorladungen aufs Revier in die Hand drücken. Ja, Titus scheint genau der Richtige für diesen Job zu sein. Ich will das aufgeblasene Selbstwertgefühl der Hardy Boys nicht noch unterstützen. Nicht sie sind die Polizei, sondern wir. Ja, Titus scheint genau der Richtige für diesen Job zu sein.
Then we can ask him once we get back to the whirling. But we have to hurry, because it's late and they might have already gone home. But I think we are done here for now. Let's head out. This is done.
Please, leave the radio on.
Es wirkt wie ein Reflex, ein Satz, an den sie sich hart erinnert.
She stands motionless, just a heap of clothes and fleshes now. Maybe if you search her once more. The woman stands slumped. She looks catatonic under her mountain of RCM paraphernalia. Is one of those things a police cap? There were narcotics in there too. You're thinking of taking them?
Du hebst die Mütze auf.
She doesn't even flinch as you reach out and disentangle the familiar-looking lieutenant's cap from her mountain of RCM paraphernalia.
Oh, is that yours?
Vielleicht, wahrscheinlich. Sie kennen mich ja.
It's your hat.
The old woman doesn't react to your touch.
Ich konfisziere das Rauschgift. Zwinker, zwinker.
You take the vial of Pyrrolidon and the bottle of speed as evidence, obviously.
You might not want to take those. You seem to have a slight problem.
Listen to him, for once.
Ich beschlagnahme sie als Beweismittel.
Sure. I guess that's fine.
Lassen wir sie in Frieden. Und wir haben noch ein Level-Up gekriegt. Wir haben eine Waffe. Eine tatsächliche, verdammte Waffe. Und wir haben 2 Kugeln. Und ein Polizeihut. Wo ist dieser? +1 Autorität. Ich sollte nicht einfach so mit einer Waffe in der Hand rumlaufen. Okay, gehen wir zu Hardy. Ich wollte sowieso den Lieutenant ins Bett schicken und mit Oranje Disco Dancer über meine weniger rühmliche Zeit sprechen und dann zu meinen kommunistischen Freunden zurückkehren. Und dann können wir am Freitag oder am Tag 6 schön Ruby jagen. Kann ich mich jetzt? Nein, Schnellreise ist immer noch verboten. Danke, Disco Elysium. Die ist noch auf der Terrasse, sehr schön. Reden wir erstmal mit Titus, dann schicken wir den Lieutenant ins Bett. Obwohl, geht er nicht erst ins Bett, wenn ich ins Bett gehe?
The Coppernado is back. What do you want?
Auf dem alten Fischmarkt auf der anderen Seite der Bucht befindet sich eine katatonische alte Dame. Sie braucht Hilfe.
What's that, Copper? You want us to help little old ladies now?
You're local law enforcement, aren't you? Helping troubled civilians should fall under your jurisdiction.
Yeah. We'll send someone out. Who is? Wait. It's the pigs, isn't it?
Yep, genau die.
God. Poor lady. Don't worry. We'll handle this. I think she got some family in Kurong or something. Bastards left her alone when she got sick. We've been getting complaints.
Hey, wasn't Everard's B team looking for her the other day? They said something about her, I don't know, finding something?
Yeah, I think you're right, Gene. She have something of yours, Pig?
Whatever you do, do not admit to these punks you lost your gun. You will suffer if you do.
Nee, sie hatte nichts von mir.
No? Well, whatever then, Copper.
Gibt sein Bier runter und wischt sich den Mund ab.
No. They totally said what it was. What was it? Anyone remember?
I don't remember. I was fucking drunk.
Let me know if you figure it out back there. Now, anything else we can help you with?
Wie heißt sie denn eigentlich? Ich meine in Wirklichkeit.
Auntie LaPlante, we always called her. Something LaPlante.
Marianne, amigo.
Marianne LePlante.
Be anything else you wanted to know?
Danke. Wer war sie?
Was? Like before. Just an old lady. Her kids moved away years ago. Never come to visit. Never took her calls. She gets out every now and then. She did right by lots of us when we were kids. Always was a little off, but still.
The children kept her together.
Wie ist sie so geworden?
Get wanted to be a cop, you mean? Well, shit. I don't actually know. Anyone know why she started acting like a pig?
No fucking clue. It's gotta be the crazy. Who'd want to be a pig?
Jemand, der die Welt gerade biegen will, bevor sie untergeht. Schon mal drüber nachgedacht? Die Frage ist ja, wer würde das nicht wollen? Coole Uniform, schnelle Wagen, immer eine Knarre dabei. Wo kann ich unterschreiben? Der Polizeidienst ist ein respektables Betätigungsfeld, müssen Sie wissen. Ich komme nicht umhin, mich für die ungesunde Kultur, die sich diese arme Frau angeeignet hat, teilweise verantwortlich zu fühlen. Es tut mir leid.
No, I didn't. Because I'm not fucking stupid, Polizonte.
Yeah, Carl. That's some pretty fucking weird shit to say. The pigs level weird. But whatever gets you through the day.
Wo hat sie ihre ganze Polizeiausrüstung her?
Dunno. She lives by the water. Shit washes up all the time on the beach.
Police paraphernalia doesn't just wash up on the coast, people. It's not like we dump it at night. She bought it, collected it.
Danke für Ihre Hilfe bei der Sache.
No problemo, cop man. We take care of our mentally ill here in Martinez. Ain't that right, boys?
Sure enough, we're the real heroes on these streets.
Ja, das seid ihr wohl. Also gut, ich muss also nochmal zurücklaufen. So tun, als ob ich schlafen gehe und dann zurückkommen, um mit Oranje zu reden. Mein Gott. Und ich kann nicht schnell reisen. Wieso nicht? Wieso kann ich nicht mehr schnell reisen? Was ist das für ein abgefuckter Bug? Hier kann ich mitteilen, dass ich meinen
Inside,
Revolver
you
habe.
see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you? Just a
10-4, come in, officer. Over. 10-4, I know I already wrote it in a report, but it will stay on my desk for a few days. Over.
Ich habe meinen Millimeter-Revolver gefunden. Bei mir wird nicht wieder vorkommen, dass ich ihn verliere.
10-4, sir, roger that, and very glad to hear it. I will make relevant changes to the report. Roger that, 10-10, over and out.
So. Nochmal 10 Erfahrungspunkte abgestaubt. Weil wir ehrlich waren. Er kann das verübeln. Ah, das mit dem Schnellreisen geht mir wirklich herbe auf den Zeiger gerade.
It's getting cold.
Good night.
Tschüss, Kim. Und wieder raus. Ah. Ja, sie steht immer noch da oben. Also gut, wir müssen reden.
I was just thinking, what a nice evening it is for taking part in a murder investigation.
Jetzt, wo Kim nicht hier ist, reden wir über Sonntagnacht.
Ah, yes. The night before I saw you in the hallway and reminded you you're a police officer.
The date of your re-entry into the fossil record.
Ja, bevor ich wie die paläolithische Megafauna auf der Bildfläche erschienen bin. Das ist eine der ersten Erinnerungen, die ich an diese Welt habe. Vorhin erinnere ich mich nur an das Zimmer, die Geräusche eines Motorfahrzeugs, Dampf im Badezimmer und an Dunkelheit.
Wow. Mythopoetically adequate stuff.
She's a glib girl, but she liked the wording.
Haben Sie etwas gehört, Sonntagnacht, aus meinem Zimmer?
There was the usual ruckus. Loud disco music.
War ich allein?
I can't say. Probably not. Sounded like you were flying solo.
Sie haben laute Disco-Musik erwähnt?
Oh, yes. Various artists. Ostentatious orchestrations prime among them.
Sie hebt deine Augenbraue und wartet darauf, dass du damit etwas verbindest.
Oh, that. Yeah. Whoa. The less said about OO, the better.
Oh, were huge where I come from. I was very young then, of course, like 7. Life gets hard, but we go on.
Stimmt, wir machen immer weiter. Eigentlich wird es nur schwerer, nicht wahr?
It would appear so. At around 2 o'clock, the disco stopped and there was a change of pace.
Was ist passiert?
A slow, sad song started playing, like organ music on repeat. That went on for quite a while. Some of that time you were yelling along to it.
Habe ich das hier gesungen? Du zeigst dir die leere Hülle von Die kleinste Kirche in Saint-Saëns?
Yes, there was a church in there. A really small church. Like the smallest, saddest church in the whole world. It was about that. And also
Wovon noch?
that it doesn't matter anymore and that we're alone now. It was difficult to tell. The song itself was very quiet and soft, but you sounded like a wounded boar, sir. It was hard to understand what you were singing on top of it.
Tut mir leid. Wenn Sie verwundet sagen, meinen Sie das auf eine coole Art, wie eine wilde Bestie? Und was ist dann passiert? Wie eine wilde Bestie?
Yes, it was very cool.
Und was ist dann passiert?
Then you started screaming and trashed the place.
Ah, das hört sich ganz nach mir an. Was habe ich getan?
A window was smashed, the tape player probably, the song stopped. And furniture too. A real destructathon. There was screaming. Then I think you passed out.
Weiter nichts mehr? Ich hoffe doch sehr, dass nicht noch etwas war. Das zu hören macht mich stolz. War denn weiter gar nichts mehr? Ich hoffe doch sehr, dass nicht noch etwas war.
There was. I think you screamed that you didn't want to be this type of animal anymore. I may have misheard, but it was sort of memorable. I went out afterwards. Everything was quiet by then. Around 4 or 5. And that was it.
Danke.
No problem, sir.
Yippie, wir wissen, was passiert ist. Für 10 Erfahrungspunkte gehen wir zu unseren Kommunistenfreunden. Ich meine, wir haben das Buch gelesen.
2 neon-lit shapes. A man and a...
Ich wollte die Treppe, verdammt. bevor ich es vergesse, rüste ich noch meine Entschuldigung. Meine Kommunistenmütze aus, wenn ich schon zu unserem Kommunistentreffen gehe.
This hat is so soft, so warm. It wraps around your head, and your mind tingles with all manner of socio-economic theory.
Das ist eine Ushanka, richtig?
Kraz Mazov would have worn this Ushanka. Mazov knew where to cook those thoughts. That's why it bears a Mazovian logo. Glory to the revolution, comrade. Whether you like it or not, wearing this hat has made you more communist.
Das gefällt mir auch. Cindy, hast du sonst noch was zu sagen? Ich frage jedes Mal nach, wenn ich komme.
Hello again, officers. Have you come?
Nope. Lauf zu unseren 2 Möchtegern-Kommunisten. Check meinen coolen Hut ab.
You're back.
Bereit, reden wir über Inframaterialismus.
Yes. Let's get right to it.
His companion leans forward, ready to jump in. They're impressed that you dove right into the most advanced parts of the theory. Half an hour evaporates and the conversation is still wending its way toward new and unexpected places.
But if it's true that this individual possesses so much capital that light literally bends around him, then that must mean...
Das Kapital selbst auch eine Form von Plasma erzeugt. Das Licht an sich eine bourgeoise Illusion ist. Nein, Kapital selbst auch eine Form von Plasma erzeugt.
In Innocence of Capital, Puncher and Wortman argue that communists must possess as little capital as possible in order to keep their thinking undiluted by its influence.
You've accrued a modest account balance over the last few days, but probably not enough to warp your thinking. Has it gotten cold in here? Your arms seem to be covered in goose flesh.
Well, on that note, I think we can call it an evening.
No, wait. Can this really be the end? You feel like you've just gotten to the real stuff.
Yes. One of our better discussions lately, on the whole.
Halt mal, das war's?
What do you mean, is that it? You've done the reading, we talked about it. What more do you expect from a reading group?
Was, wenn ich noch Fragen habe über den Kommunismus eben?
Well, you could always ask, I guess.
He probably won't get a better chance.
But it's getting late, so maybe pick the most important question.
Ich muss eine Minute darüber nachdenken.
Come on. We have things to do in the morning.
Du stellst die wichtigste Frage überhaupt in Bezug auf den Kommen. Es wird scheitern.
All right, here we go.
Mit
We're
einer 6.
devoting all your available brain cells to coming up with a question about communism. Scratch that. To coming up with the question about communism. The alpha and omega of communism questions. And that question is...
Sind Frauen bourgeois? Mein Gott, das ist ja grottig. Komm schon, da fällt mir doch bestimmt etwas Besseres ein.
Maybe in another life, but not this one. Face it, this is the question that's been simmering inside you all along. No, no, no. This was supposed to take your mind off the other thing.
Augenblick mal, ich dachte, ich hätte mich da gerade richtig in die Theorie reingearbeitet.
Sure, you spent some time getting lost in your theoretical labyrinths, but this has been the beast at the center this whole time.
Sind Frauen bourgeois?
The young man gives you a slightly confused look, as though he's sure you asked something else and he simply misheard. No, he heard you crystal clear. Somehow, it sounded even worse out loud.
He wants to know if women are bourgeois, Esteban.
Yes, I heard him. Give me a moment.
Er atmet tief ein und wendet sich dann an dich.
What makes you ask that question above any other?
Weil sie nicht mit mir zurechtkommen. Ich bin nämlich ein gottverdammter Superstar. Weil ich nicht mit ihnen zurechtkomme.
Maybe your problem is that you think they're yours to handle. You ask that question because you're still under the influence of ideology. That's natural. You're like a fish that's only now discovering that her whole life has been dictated by the movements of sea currents. That's what ideology is. It's like there are these invisible forces everywhere, pushing and tugging you this way and that, and you don't even know they're there.
Was hat das denn mit Kommunismus zu tun?
Everything, man. That is part of the communist project, to destroy the ideological structures that reduce men and women to these hollow shells of identity. Do you know the story of Dobrova and Abadanais?
Ich habe keine Ahnung, von wem du redest. Wer waren die beiden?
The so-called revolutionary lovers, the jewel commissars of revolution in Insulinda. Yulia Dobrova came from Grad. Jean Abadanais was born in Reversal. She was brilliant, charismatic, a revolutionary comet. He was her partner and stabilizer, the planet who kept her in orbit.
What became of them, though? There seems to be a blank paragraph in the history books.
It's from them we get the notion of dual leadership, the Decomptage, Reversol's truly great contribution to revolutionary thought. I believe it even persists in some form in the RCM, even to this day.
Was ist aus Dobreva und Abadanais geworden?
They died on their own terms, like real revolutionaries. There's a lot to say for that.
Du behauptest also, dass Frauen nur wegen Ideologien bourgeois sind?
There's more to it than that. People still make their own choices. It's a matter of being aware of what's influencing them.
Was sagt diese Frage über mich aus?
Yes, that's the question you should be asking yourself.
His companion nods, but offers no further solace.
Ich brauche ein bisschen Zeit, um über das alles nachzudenken.
The young man nods, but says nothing. He appears to be distracted by something. He's wrestling with some question of his own. He's lost in his own thoughts. You wonder what silt you've stirred in the bottom of his soul. Of course, the matchboxes. You'd very nearly forgotten to ask about them. Now may be your last chance.
Die Streichholzschachteln. Ihr habt versucht, den Turm aus Nielsens Notizbüchern nachzubauen.
So you really did read all the way to the end. Yeah, Uli and I were trying to see whether there was enough plasm between the two of us to hold up a few matchboxes.
Saying it out loud makes him realize how foolish it sounds.
It was just a little informal experiment. No reason to take it too seriously.
Wir sollten es noch einmal versuchen, alle zusammen.
The young man looks at you a moment, then at his companion.
What could it hurt? All right, let's give it another go.
Before long, a modest tower begins to rise from the pile of matchboxes. You place every box with the utmost delicacy and precision.
Easy, Uli.
It's holding. It's holding.
The higher the tower goes, the quieter the room seems to become. Aside from the occasional comment, the three of you are completely absorbed by the task.
Alright, you go next, Stepan.
The young man pushes back his shirt sleeves, revealing the pale flesh of his forearms.
Sachte.
Is it? He's holding. He's holding.
Yes, this is the closest we've ever gotten.
It's almost exactly as Nielsen's sketch imagined, a physical manifestation of the dialectical spiral of history.
All right, gendarme. Your turn.
You've got this. Theories aside, they're only matchboxes.
Geist Masovs, verleihe mir Stärke.
It's...
Nein! Scheiße.
For a second there, I thought we had it. Just goes to show how constrained we are under the limits of the prevailing regime.
Undoubtedly.
Alternatively, it could be that our own ideological fervor is still insufficient.
Harder to believe, but still possible.
Either way, that's enough parlor games for one night. Thanks for humoring us.
We should probably clean up.
Yes, it's probably time for you to take your leave as well.
Tja, ich geh dann mal.
Wait a minute, if you don't mind. We wanted to get your opinion on something. A few little changes we've been thinking about.
Was für Änderungen?
Nothing too major, I think. We were talking potentially about relaxing some parts of our admissions process.
Es würde wahrscheinlich schon helfen, wenn man bei der Aufnahme keine komplette mündliche Prüfung durchlaufen müsste. Vielleicht solltet ihr die Losung vergessen und euch in einem Café treffen. Habt ihr schon mal darüber nachgedacht, die Lektüre zu ändern?
That's interesting. I thought people loved group interviews.
I thought so too, but perhaps we overdid it. Just there was another thing. We were also debating putting up some posters around town.
Though some of us maintain that advertising is an unacceptably bourgeois tactic.
That's what makes it so beautiful. The irony is unbeatable. As a noted art cop, you definitely have an opinion on this.
Da ich mich ja selbst bereits an Wandbildern versucht habe, hat dieses Vorhaben meinen Segen. Da ich ja selbst eine Art Kunstkritiker bin, unterstütze ich diesen Plakatplan. Seht es doch mal so, ihr macht euch für revolutionäre Ziele Methoden der Bourgeois zunutze. Da kann doch bestimmt Cindy helfen. Plakate sind doch stark, wer mag denn keine? Tja, Plakate sind schon ziemlich bourgeois.
Ah, it makes sense. There's already a sub-theme of radical street art running through our reading group.
I suppose that makes it a historical inevitability beyond contradiction.
Plus, I've got the perfect place in mind. Put some more coffee on, Uli. We've got a long night ahead of us. We should probably get Cindy in here too. Oh, and gendarme. One last thing. I've been thinking about what you asked before, about women, you know? Not that it's any of my business, but it sounds like this question is really tearing you up inside.
It is tearing you up. It's like there's a tiny, hateful beast shredding your very soul.
So, good luck with that.
Okay.
The gendarme returns. What do you need?
Ich kann den Spiegel wieder benutzen. Ich kann wieder Sileng versuchen, ein paar Sachen aus der Tasche zu ziehen. Aber erstmal setzen wir diesen bescheuerten Hut ab, den mal gar keiner von denen cool fand. Wozu trage ich ihn dann überhaupt? gute Nacht, Männer. Cindy, die möchte gern Kommis brauchen dich davon. Hast du was Neues zu sagen?
Hello again, officers. Have you...
Negativ. Also gut, zurück zu unserer Fischerhütte. Stimmt, ich wollte noch gucken, wie viel Suggestion ich zusammenkriege. Na toll. Also haben wir jetzt eine Suggestion von 6.
These are some wonderfully regular pants. Not too tight, not too loose, moderate in every sense. You'll blend right in at some pleasant dinner party.
Ich mag durchschnittliche normale Dinge.
I know you do. These Inter-Estellari pants are like wearing a perfect compromise in your nether regions. No one will call the moral intern on you like this. You're a little more moralist now, buddy. A little more normal, even if you didn't want to be. Makes sense? This is what wearing boring office trousers does to you.
Oh, ich wollte die Hose eigentlich sowieso nur wegen dem Dialog ausprobieren. Habe ich ja nicht schon die Schuhe getragen? Diese
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Why does she care about the waves so much?
Warum sind sie so auf die Wellen fixiert?
What is it with waves and fishermen? We need to be out there with them, fishing, making a living. So I asked them to accommodate me. But until that happens, I can try to assist you the best I can. So, what will it be, officer?
Ja.
Oh yes, she does. You need to get your drink on. There is no other way for human beings to procreate. Not after 6,000 years of yeast cultivation-based mating rituals.
Ich mag sie, aber ich habe Angst davor, mit ihnen zusammen zu sein, weil sie eine Frau sind. Ich möchte ihnen gerne näher kommen, aber es führt nur einen Weg zur Intimität. Seit Menschengedenken hat Al Ghul darüber nachgewacht, dass unsere Spezies sich stetig fortpflanzt. Schlafen Sie mit mir, lassen Sie uns Al Ghul feiern. Al Ghul macht es möglich, sich näher zu kommen, vereinigen wir uns.
What?
Ein Saufdate. Wir brauchen nur Alk, der Rest folgt später.
Funny. Funny sailor jokes. Sorry if I'm not laughing out loud, but the comedy has worn thin over the years.
Great. Now you reminded her of the husband. It's okay. She just hasn't figured out how these things work between the sexes. Keep at it. She'll
Natürlich
come
nicht.
around.
Ja, natürlich wird sie das. Ich Kacklappen.
It's getting...
Ah je. Sowas brauche ich für den Spiegel, um da vielleicht erfolgreich zu sein.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it. Such as it is.
Enzyklopädie.
Irregular, clean shape.
Ich glaube, ich habe schon alles, was enzyklopädisch Vorteile verschafft. Hei. Ziehen wir wieder unseren Standardkram an. Moment, das muss ich auch noch mal kurz anziehen. Aha.
Wow, this jacket makes you feel strong. As if your blood is mixing with that of the venerable Philippian loyalists of old.
Vermischen? Muss mein Blut erst vermischt werden oder ist es gut so wie es ist?
Apologies. You're right. The need for a strong central government has always been clear to you. You're a true patriot of Revachol. It's time to clean up the streets and restore the city to its former glory. Whether you like it or not, this jacket gives you serious nationalist cred.
Es gefällt mir definitiv nicht. Ich hätte gern wieder meine weiße Jacke. Vielen Dank. Und meine Trainingshosen. So. Außerdem brauchen wir Zigaretten.
An old mirror hangs on the wall. You see the reflection of your face in it, such as it is. A regular, clean-shaven police officer. Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know.
Die Schnauze, Spiel. Gehen wir schlafen.
The bed is comfort. The place feels almost like home now. Quiet and dignified around you. A new life by the seaside. You're incredibly tired. The darkness and warmth come fast. You're falling asleep.
It's easier this time. Drifting off, your head has found a comfortable indent in the pillow. Your legs and your torso feel like lead weights sinking to the bottom of the sea. Until there's suddenly light.
This respite. You've earned it, brother. Bask in the darkness. Let it swallow you up and swivel you around while you forget everything you've managed to remember.
Aber ich habe Böses getan. Ich habe das nicht verdient. Ist das der letzte Traum?
No, this is the one before that. We'll just keep cycling it for you if you don't mind. As long as we can. Spin it like black yarn.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
Danke, Dunkelheit. Ich danke dir.
You're welcome, Harry boy. You earned it.
Ich falle in einen tiefen, festen Schlaf.
After centuries of darkness, the alarm rings. But what's this? You actually feel rested. There's no time to cuddle with your pillow, however, or as much as shiver from the cold. The world awaits.
Go.
Wir öffnen die Augen. Na komm, steh auf, du faule Sau. Du bist doch ausgeruht. Treffen wir uns mit Kim. Und dann können wir uns um Ruby kümmern. Wo ist Kim? Kim? Wo bist du, Kim? Ist das schon wieder ein Bug? Habe ich meinen Kim verloren? Ah, da ist er. Gott sei Dank. Verrückt.
Yes?
Nichts, Kim. Also. Finde alle Rüstungsteile. Finde die Mordwaffe. Ne. Können wir noch nicht. Und das ist die einzige Quest, die wir haben. Wir haben 5 Quests. Erinnert ihr euch, als wir noch 30 hatten? Das waren Zeiten. Ab ins Rohr. Taschenlampe. Nee, Moment. Wir sind Rechtshänder. So ist das gut.
Holding the gun feels natural and satisfying. It's like an extension of your arm, the polished wooden handle almost fusing into your palm.
Ich glaube, meine Hand erkennt sie.
It reminds you of the day you first held it, with fear and respect, hoping you don't have to use it in vain. The sun was out in Jamrock. It was so long ago. Sheathe your sidearm, officer. A serious law official, cop by the book, should know to only unholster their service weapon when using it is unavoidable.
Ah, wie stecke ich die Waffe ins Holster? Das ist die Frage. Und es hieß, ich könnte sie hier eventuell gebrauchen, also... Wir waren sowieso nicht leise. Betonrohr.
Suddenly, your entire body is paralyzed. Aggressive white noise fills your skull. A strange pain, like you've never felt before. Through the static, you hear a woman's voice. It's like 1,000 radio stations are being blasted into your head all at once. But her words are the only ones you can make out.
I know you're feeling pretty uncomfortable right now. Don't move too much or fight it. That'll just make it worse.
Sagt die schattenhafte Gestalt neben dem Gerät.
Can't say it's a pleasure, officer. I was really hoping not to make your acquaintance. But here we are.
As she says the word officer, you feel a spike in the agony. It sounds like the entire radio frequency range is screaming directly into your neural pathways.
Ich halte mir die Ohren zu.
No, buddy, that's not going to help. You can't shield yourself from this. It's an entirely new type of experience. Way worse than all the previous ones. Don't focus on the pain. Focus on doing your job. Tell her she's under arrest.
Sind festgenommen.
Really now? Check this out.
You're overwhelmed with a new surge of violent static. It feels like a blood vessel exploded in your brain.
Was passiert mit mir?
I'm using a pale latitude compressor. You and your partner have been caught in its field.
Blasted from that pale emitter that Angus mentioned.
Ich habe ihre Gleichung gesehen. Es ist die Ulan-Frequenz.
Saw my equations? You've been sniffing through my lorry, right? I expected as much. I am a bit surprised you knew what you were looking at. A pale latitude compressor is used to sort of make the pale more manageable. With a lot of these, you can force a radio signal grid on the pale, literally crunch the distance across it. Signals are relayed across a series of repeater stations fixed to buoys. Not a fun job manning those stations. All alone out there in the pale, people lose their minds in just a few years.
So, what we are experiencing is a concentration of radio waves.
Precisely. This is an industrial strength paraboloid. It's meant for forcing dimensions on something that doesn't have them. Needless to say, the frequencies used are out of this world. At the upper limit is the large prime number generator station. It's used specifically for pale latitude compression. That's why you may be hearing some numbers. But you might also hear, or think you're hearing, local radio chatter.
She's been holed up in here for a while with no one to talk to. Keep her talking, and you just might get an opportunity to break you loose.
Haben Sie den Kompressor selbst erlebt?
Yeah, I stuck my head in there before using it on you. It seemed like the ethical thing to do. Can't say that I enjoyed it. The field was weaker, but I can imagine what you're going through.
Wo haben Sie dieses Ding denn her?
I built it myself.
Sie nickt in Richtung ihres Folterinstruments.
And she's proud of it too, as she ought to be. This is way beyond your abilities.
That's illegal. I'm guessing it's patented. But we are beyond that, aren't we?
Oh yeah. Way beyond.
Wird mein Zustand jetzt ewig andauern?
No. Once I shut down the compressor, the pain will end. It may take a few minutes for you to steady yourself, though. It's a bit like waking out of a very confusing dream.
Digga. Das ist ja alles schön und gut, aber sprechen wir lieber über den Getöteten.
Yeah, let's not talk about that shit. You were hunting me and fell into my trap instead. That's all there is to say about it.
So she thinks of you as hunters, not cops, and of herself merely as prey.
Bitte, können Sie es nicht herunterregeln, damit ich Sie etwas fragen kann?
If you've got something really important to say, you can do it through the white noise.
Looking for a deal upon mattress.
God damn it.
Plötzlich bekommt sie Mitleid mit dir und Kim.
Fine. If you really want to talk, I can dial it down. I've also got a gun, by the way.
Widerwillig tritt sie aus dem Schatten hervor, der Schmerz lässt nach.
The gun she's carrying is a two-barreled front loader, not like the murder weapon. Well, it doesn't feel much better, but she can form sentences now. Thinking doesn't seem to hurt as much. Just keep her talking, and you'll be through this. There's only 3 meters between you and the machine. If you keep her distracted for long enough, maybe. Be careful when you make your move. That'll be it for questions. Bide your time.
Woher wussten Sie, dass wir kommen?
I heard you in the passages, and I've been preparing for quite a while.
Indem Sie Kugel unter Dielen verstecken?
So you found my shack, huh? I'm not surprised.
Her tone is bitter. She thinks she's been betrayed.
Bereiten Sie sich auf das Schlimmste vor?
I was, before I caught you in the pale latitude compressor. I'm fine now.
That's her admitting the bullet was an emergency exit.
Haben Sie Lelly erschossen?
No, I didn't do it. I only helped stage the lynching, though I doubt that makes much of a difference to you. Who ratted me out, by the way? Was it Titus? No, he wouldn't have broken first.
Sie haben recht, Klaas ist die erste gewesen, die ihren Verdacht geäußert hat.
Oh, I knew the kitten had claws, but not like this. But she couldn't have known I was on the coast. How did you find me?
Ah, ich werde dir das sowas von heimzahlen.